Hello everybody, today back in another video. Oh boy, Carlos Alcaraz after 4 hours and 42 minutes dethrones the 7 times Wimbledon champion, dethrones the 4 times consecutive Wimbledon champion, dethrones the 23 times Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic in 5 epic sets. Carlos Alcaraz, what a performance, my dear tennis fans all around the world. Are we surprised that he won? No, we are not surprised. Carlos Alcaraz is the real deal. I've talked about this before and I will say it again. He is the real deal. He has the whole package. He is one player and put them in all big three of them. He has the shot-making skills a la Roger Federer. He has the stamina a la Rafael Nadal. And he has the lightning speed, fast feet a la Novak Djokovic. He is all 3 of them in one. And if you take all 3 of them in one, you will get this package. You will get this beast. Carlos Alcaraz, now 2 times Grand Slam champion. And he's only 20 years old. And he's already 2 times Grand Slam champion and now becomes the 3rd youngest Wimbledon champion after Boris Becker and after Björn Borg. Now Carlos Alcaraz becomes the 3rd youngest Wimbledon champion. Now you must be impressed with this dude. You must be. He's the new superstar of tennis. You must be. This was his 4th only grass court tournament. This was his 4th only grass court tournament in his career. He has played only 4 grass court tournaments, Carlos Alcaraz, and he has won 2 of them already. He won Queens last month, earlier, a couple of weeks ago, not last month. Maybe it was last month, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, he won Queens, a 500 class tournament, and now he wins Wimbledon. And he has competed in Wimbledon only in 2 previous years before, 2021 and 2022, and in his 3rd ever attempt at Wimbledon, he wins Wimbledon 2023 as only 20 years old of age. Carlos Alcaraz, he dethrones Novak Djokovic. What did I say a couple of weeks ago when I did a video? What did I say? What did I say, my tennis friends all around the world? Who is Novak Djokovic's biggest threat at Wimbledon 2023? I said Carlos Alcaraz. I was bloody right. I still was not brave enough to pick Carlos Alcaraz to defeat Novak Djokovic in this Wimbledon final, because I picked Djokovic to defeat Carlos Alcaraz, and I'm not alone. It was many who did that as well. We almost wrong, my televisions all around the world. Carlos Alcaraz, he has sent a statement. Do you know what kind of a statement he has sent? He has sent a statement and said, it is changing of the guard. Tsitsipas couldn't do it. He lost a couple of Grand Slam finals. Medvedev couldn't do it either, even though he has won a Grand Slam title, but he has lost more Grand Slam finals that he has won. Alright? Medvedev has played 4 Grand Slam finals. He has lost 3 of them, won 1. Zverev couldn't do it. He has never won a Grand Slam title. He has played 1 Grand Slam final, never won it. Thiem couldn't do it. He has played 4 Grand Slam finals. He has won 1 of them and lost 3. Felix Yaliasine couldn't do it. A player, a long time hyped Felix Yaliasine, who lost his first 8 ATP Tour finals. He played 8 finals in the row and lost 8 consecutive ATP finals. And finally he won in his 9th attempt in the final, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me down below if I'm wrong. Denis Shapovalov, the super talented player from Canada, a shot maker that many has had a lot of expectations, he for sure couldn't change the guard. He has won only one tournament in his entire career. Only one, and that is a 250 class tournament. Have I forgot someone? Yannick Sinner, he's still young, so I'm not gonna go on hard on him. Holger Rune, he's still young, I'm not gonna go hard on him. Matteo Berrettini, many talk that Matteo Berrettini will be maybe the new Wimbledon champion. I was never sold on him. I always said Matteo Berrettini is the worst version of Andy Roddick. He will never win a Grand Slam title. He has a horrible backhand and horrible returns. He will never win a Grand Slam title. Nick Kyrgios, super talented player from Australia who has really great skills on a tennis court, especially with his serve, who has a huge serve. But you know guys, you who follow my channel, I've talked about this so many times. I've always said, you don't win Grand Slam titles only with a huge serve. You don't. It is not only serving that you need to be good at tennis. If that was the case, College would have won slams, Isner would have won slams, Query would have won slams, Kyrgios would have won slams. To mention some big servers, Kevin Anderson would have won slams. Neither of them have never won slams and never will win. And one of them two of them has even retired, like Kolovic and Kevin Anderson. Berrettini is still playing. Kyrgios is still playing. Query, I believe, is still playing. I don't think he has officially retired. But he will never win a slam. So tennis is not only about having a huge serve. You will not win Grand Slam titles with only a huge serve. You need to have the whole package. What is important in tennis, you need to be even good in both wings. Even good, my tennis fans all around the world. You need to have a great forehand, like Carlos has. You need to have a really, really good backhand as well, like Carlos has as well. Carlos Alcaraz, he is even good in both wings. Of course, his biggest weapon is the forehand, but he can hurt you with the backhand as well. He can hurt you. He doesn't do as many winners with his backhand like he does with his forehand, but he can hurt you with the backhand as well. And he can protect the backhand side. You cannot hurt him if you put the balls towards his backhand, like Djokovic can do with, say for example, a player like Berrettini. It is easy playing a player like Berrettini. Just put the balls towards his backhand and the job is done. You cannot do that against a complete beast like Carlos Alcaraz. He's complete. I said this before, I've never seen a more complete 20 years old player than Carlos Alcaraz. And he has not proved it. He has not proved this. Have Federer won Wimbledon at 20 years old? No. Has Nadal won Wimbledon at 20 years old? No. Has Djokovic won Wimbledon at 20 years old? No. There you have the proof that Carlos Alcaraz is the most complete 20 years old player of all time. He has everything. He has everything. And one other thing that I noticed in this final against Djokovic, I knew that his returns were good. I didn't bloody know that his returns was this murderous good. Djokovic could not relax on his service games. He was fighting like an animal, holding his service games. Novak Djokovic, it was a lot of juice games. Or what do you say about that middle game in the third set? In that 3-1 game, that fifth game of the third set. That titanic game of the third set, who took 26 minutes. Djokovic couldn't hold his serve in that titanic game, in that fifth game of the third set, in that 3-1 game. And after 26 minutes, Carlos Alcaraz broke him to make it to 4-1, and then held his service game pretty easy to 5-1, and then broke Novak, because Novak was already a lost soul in that third set. Losing that kind of a titanic game, who took 26 minutes, You will not come back and win that set. You will not come back. That is like knocking you out, like a boxing match when two boxers fight each other and they go toe to toe with each other to the 12th round and 11th round and they can barely stay on their feet. And then the winner just puts a big fist. Bam! Bang! You're knocked out. That's what Carlos Alcaraz did against Novak Djokovic in the third set. That was a knockout punch in that fifth game of the third set. That titanic game where Carlos won it in the end to break Novak's serve 4-1 for the second time in that third set. I'm sorry. Because he was already up a break in that third set, Carlos Alcaraz. So when he won that titanic game, he was double break up in the third set. And that was hasta la vista baby for Novak. He lost that third set 6-1. And then in the fourth, Novak did a great comeback. The fighter that he is, the warrior that he is, the 23-time Grand Slam champion that he is, he will of course never give up. He will threw everything towards Carlos Alcaraz, his entire kitchen sink, which he did, and won that fourth set 6-3. But you know what, my tennis fans all around the world, I'm going to tell you something. If you guys have a question, when they went into that fifth set, if you're wondering who I favored to win that fifth set, I'm going to tell you who I favored to win that fifth set. I'm going to be honest with you. I really am honest with you. I swear to God, I'm honest with you. I thought the Carlos will win that fifth set. Yeah. I was texting with a friend of mine. He said, no, Djokovic will win this. I've seen Djokovic doing this comeback so many times. I said, no. Do you know why? Because Carlos Alcaraz is playing better tennis than Djokovic. Carlos Alcaraz is serving better than Djokovic. Carlos Alcaraz is returning better than Djokovic. And that was my analyzing of this final. Before this final started, I thought that Djokovic will win in 4 sets. I thought that Djokovic will win the serve battle. And I thought that Djokovic will win the return battle. Djokovic lost both of them. According to me, he lost both of them. Carlos Alcaraz, he was holding his serves easier than what Djokovic was doing. Even though they break each other's serve 5 times each, when the match was over, they both broke each other's serve 5 times each. But I've not looked this, but when I was seeing the match, I got the feeling that Carlos Alcaraz was holding his service games easier than what Djokovic was doing. Besides the first set, which was a blowout set for Djokovic, where Djokovic won the first set 6-1. But that was Carlos he was nervous because he's still 20 years old and it was probably his biggest match of his life. All respect to US Open, which he won last year, but winning Wimbledon is the biggest tennis tournament in the world. I believe so anyway. So he was probably a little nervous in the first set. It was not like Djokovic was playing superior tennis in the first set, but Carlos, he did more unforced errors than winners in the first set. Carlos did 9 unforced errors and 7 winners. So Carlos Alcaraz couldn't hit through Djokovic. He was just playing too careful, too passive in the first set. And Djokovic, the experienced player that he is, he took advantage of it because it was not like Djokovic was playing murderous, superior, impeccable tennis in the first set. He was solid, Djokovic, in the first set. He was serving good, was winning a lot of points on his first serve. Didn't do that many unforced errors, but he was not doing many winners as well. He did 5 winners and 2 unforced errors in that first set, Djokovic. And what enough, he broke Carlos' serve 2 times in the first set and won that first set 6-1. But after that, exactly like Carlos said in the prize ceremony after he won the final, he said to himself, Carlos, you better increase your level so you don't make this huge crowd disappointed. And he indeed did. He increased the level. He broke Novak, I believe, early in the second set. Novak came back and then they went toe-to-toe in the second set. We didn't see any breaks more in the second set. And then in that tiebreak, we all know that Novak Djokovic is a tiebreak beast, tiebreak monster, tiebreak terminator. He has won all his 6 tiebreaks in this year's Wimbledon. And he was in a 14 or 15 consecutive tiebreak wins. Some say it was a 14 tiebreaks consecutive wins. Some say it was a 15 consecutive tiebreak wins. I don't know which is correct. Anyway, he was in a huge tiebreak consecutive winning streak, Novak Djokovic. But I don't know if you guys know, but Carlos Alcaraz is pretty good in tiebreaks as well. He is pretty good in tiebreaks as well, my tennis fans all around the world. He has played 3 tiebreaks before this final at Wimbledon. He has won all 3 of them. So I knew coming into the tiebreak in the second set that Djokovic will be in big danger. Which he was, and he lost the tiebreak second set 8-6. Even though he maybe could have won it and maybe should have won it, he had 1 set point in that 6-5 point in Carlos' serve, and he did an unforced error with his backhand. And then after that, Carlos won 3 straight points after being down 5-6 and won that second set tiebreak 8-6. Djokovic was not in his... Look, Djokovic was not in his... It was not the best performance that I've seen Novak Djokovic play. I'm going to be honest with you. It was not, alright? I've seen Djokovic play much better tennis matches, definitely much better Grand Slam finals. But it has to do also with Carlos, what Carlos brings to the table. Because Carlos is an elite player already. Carlos is a great player already. So, you always will play good tennis as much as your opponent allows you to play. So, Djokovic could have played better. He could have served better. He could have returned better. He could have done more winners. I will come to stats later. But it is also due to Carlos Alcaraz why he didn't do all those things better. Because Carlos Alcaraz, he's such a explosive tennis player, such a shot maker, such a complete player that he has everything. Everything. Like I said at the beginning of the video, all the big 3, you see Carlos Alcaraz in one player. So only with this kind of analysis, which I believe he is all the big 3 in one player, that makes him really scary. Which Djokovic, I said it to you guys when in the French Open. The only player Djokovic fears at French Open 1 month ago, it is Carlos Alcaraz. And some of you were laughing at me. I picked Carlos to defeat Djokovic in that semi-final at the French Open 1 month ago. And to be quite honest, guys, if Carlos would have cramped in the 3rd and 4th set, who knows what would happen? Carlos maybe would have won. Most likely he would have won. Because if he's this good on grass, he's not worse on clay. For God's sakes, clay maybe is his best surface. Maybe. I'm not sure about it anymore. I'm not sure about that anymore, to be quite honest, because he's pretty good on grass and on hard courts as well, which he has proven. He's winning tournaments all over the place in the entire world. You bloody name it. Hard courts, grass, clay. Look at his grass court titles. He has won 2 grass court titles out of 4 grass court tournaments that he has played. That doesn't make him bad on grass. Just imagine how will he, when he gets older, he only will get better. We all know what happened to Djokovic. Djokovic was not a complete tennis player when he was 20 years old. He was not a complete player. He was really good already 20 years old, but he became better and better as older he got, Novak Djokovic. He became a beast in 2011, Djokovic, when he was 23 years old in the beginning of the 2011 season. And then when he became 24 years old later that year, he only became a beast. Carlos is already a beast at 20 years old. Already. He has played 2 Grand Slam finals. He has won both of them. Both of them he has won. Alright, Casper last year, alright. Casper is not an all-time great. But Djokovic is an all-time great player. He's a 23 times Grand Slam champion. He's a 35 times Grand Slam finalist. Carlos Alcaraz defeated him in 5 epic sets. Even though it was not easy, but in the end, defeated him. Another great stat with Carlos Alcaraz, which I don't know if you guys know. He has now played another thing that I believe Carlos will win that 5th set. Another thing that I really believe he will win that 5th set. He has a murderous great stats in 5 sets. Before this final, he has played 9 matches in 5 sets where the matches has gone to the distance. He has won 8 of them. He has only lost 1 match when the match has gotten to the distance, and that only match was in last year's 3rd round loss against Matteo Berrettini in Australian Open. That is the only match Carlos Alcaraz has lost when the match has gone the distance in 5 sets. So now, after this victory against Djokovic, he has won 9 out of 10 matches that he has played 5 sets when the match has gone to the distance. Bloody impressive, huh? Bloody impressive. That's also a reason why I believe, despite that I felt he was the better tennis player, besides the first set, I just felt that he was the better tennis player in those 4 sets. Besides the first set, he was not the better tennis player in the first set, Carlos Alcaraz. But those other 3 sets, I believe that he was the more clutch player. He was returning better, he was serving better, he was doing more winners than Djokovic. So, besides that, I also had in mind his 5-set record. I said that this guy is a beast when it comes to 5 sets. And that's why I also believed he will win the 5th set. I was texting that to my friend. So now Carlos has won 9 out of 10 matches when the matches has gone to the distance in 5 sets. He has lost only 1. Like I said, against Berrettini last year's Australian Open 3rd round. So, let's talk a little about the stats. If you look at the stats, Carlos Alcaraz is the better player. To be quite honest, he's the clearly better player if you look at the stats. But of course, Djokovic made this match closer than the stats are showing. Carlos Alcaraz, he does 9 aces and 7 double faults. He lands 63% first serves in. He won 70% behind his first serve. He won 50% behind his second serve. He creates 19 breakpoint opportunities, and he broke 5 of those, and he converted in 5 of those 19 breakpoint opportunities. So he broke Novak's serve 5 times out of 19 breakpoint opportunities that he creates. He does 66 winners and 45 unforced errors. So he does 21 more winners and unforced errors. Great stats. All in all, in the match, he wins 168 points. If you look at Novak Djokovic, he didn't do many aces. And that's because of Carlos Alcaraz has superior returns. I knew coming into this final, he has good returns. I didn't knew that his returns was this superior. He is on the returns as good as Novak Djokovic. No, he is even better. At least in this final. He was returning better than Novak Djokovic in this final. That's why Djokovic couldn't hold serve as easy as Carlos could do. Carlos had much more 40-15, 40-30 serving holes than what Djokovic had. Besides, he had. So he was holding serve easier than Novak Djokovic. So Djokovic, he didn't do many aces because of Carlos Alcaraz's unbelievable returns. He did only 2 aces in the entire match. That is, I don't know when I have seen Djokovic do these little aces in a fast court match. I don't know, I don't remember. It must be a very long time ago. He did only 2 aces and 3 double faults. He lands 64% first serves in, so he landed a little more first serves in than Carlos Alcaraz. Didn't matter. He couldn't do damage behind his first serve as much as Carlos did. Djokovic wins of the points only 62%. Djokovic wins behind his first serve. Despite landing little more first serves in than Carlos Alcaraz. Carlos won 72% behind his first serve. Djokovic was winning only 62% behind his first serve. So there you have a difference. Carlos was doing much more damage in behind his first serve. Both with aces, like I said, he did more aces than Djokovic, and both on the serve plus game. He was doing much more damage in the serve plus game than Djokovic. Djokovic just couldn't hit through Carlos. He just couldn't hit through Carlos Alcaraz's unbelievable, outrageous defensive skills. He couldn't hit through him. That's why he won only 62% behind his first serve. He was better in winning points behind his second serve, little better than Carlos. Carlos won 50% behind his second serve. Djokovic won 56% behind his second serve. So he did a little better job in winning points behind his second serve and then Carlos Alcaraz. And he broke Carlos' serve 5 times out of 15 breakpoint opportunities that he had in the entire match. And now we go to the winners unforced error number here. And here you see the proof that he couldn't hit through Carlos. Djokovic does only 32 winners the entire match. A match that took almost 5 hours, 4 hours and 42 minutes, he does only 32 winners. Only 32. Compare that with Carlos, who did 66 winners. He does 34 more winners than Novak Djokovic, Carlos Alcaraz. 34 more winners. Alright? And now we come to the unforced errors. Djokovic does 40 unforced errors. That is not much, but he was not doing winners. So Djokovic does 8 more unforced errors than winners. Carlos Alcaraz did 45 unforced errors. So Carlos Alcaraz does only 5 more unforced errors than Novak Djokovic. Only 5 more, despite hitting the ball so huge and so big and so hard. And so, despite doing so many winners, Carlos did 66 winners, he did only 45 unforced errors. Djokovic does 40 winners, 5 less than Carlos, but the problem for Djokovic was he was not doing, Djokovic was doing 40 unforced errors, not winners, I'm sorry. Djokovic was doing 40 unforced errors and Carlos was doing 45, so Djokovic was doing 5 less unforced errors than Carlos Alcaraz, only 5. So he was better in that department, but Djokovic's big problem was he was not doing winners. There you have a huge difference. Djokovic was doing only 32 winners. So Djokovic was doing 8 more unforced errors than winners. Carlos was doing 21 more unforced errors than winners. Carlos was doing 34 more winners than Novak Djokovic the entire match. 34. And if you look at I'm going to talk about 5th set soon. And so there you have the unforced errors winner stat for Djokovic. And in the entire match, Djokovic wins 166 points. Carlos Alcaraz wins 168 points. So Carlos Alcaraz, in the end, won only 2 more points than Novak Djokovic. But according to me, this match, even though he won only 2 more points, Carlos was better than Novak Djokovic than the points are showing. Because if you look at the all points counted, Carlos wins only 2 more points than Novak Djokovic the entire match. But he actually was better on the tennis court than what the points are showing. And a big reason to why Djokovic only won 2 less points than Carlos Alcaraz in the entire match was because Djokovic was so much better in the first set, where he completely steamrolled Carlos Alcaraz in the first set 6-1, where Djokovic won 29 points and Carlos Alcaraz won only 16 points in that first set. So Djokovic wins 13 more points than Carlos Alcaraz in the first set. So there you have the reason why Djokovic, in the end, when the match was over, won only 2 less points than Carlos Alcaraz in the entire match. And now we'll talk about 5th set. If you look at the 5th set only, man, just look at the numbers. Carlos Alcaraz does 18 winners in that 5th set and only 5 unforced errors. Carlos Alcaraz does 13 more winners than unforced errors in the 5th set. Djokovic, he does only 3 winners and 3 unforced errors in that 5th set. Djokovic, he decided to be a goalkeeper in the 5th set. He was not taking big cuts on the ball in the 5th set. He was not hitting the ball huge in the 5th set. He was trying to make Carlos Alcaraz out-hit himself. He was trying to make Carlos Alcaraz beat himself. He was trying to defeat Carlos Alcaraz by just keeping the ball into the court and just asking the question to Carlos Alcaraz, are you a Santa Claus or not? And Carlos Alcaraz, he answered that question and he said, I am bloody not any Santa Claus. I will hit through you. And he bloody did it. He hit through Novak Djokovic in that 5th set and did 18 bloody winners in that 5th set. Carlos Alcaraz, and only 5 unforced errors. He does 13 more winners than unforced errors in that 5th set. Djokovic, only 3 winners and only 3 unforced errors in that 5th set. And Djokovic, even though Carlos was much better than 5th set when it comes to unforced errors winner stat, he could have, with some luck, won the 5th set because he actually had a one break point in that 5th set. A break point he should have converted. He had that point he should have never lost. It was him who was dictating that rally. It was him who was pushing Carlos Alcaraz back and forth and was just hitting, just pushing all the pressure towards Carlos Alcaraz in that point that he had a breakpoint opportunity in that fifth set. He had only one breakpoint opportunity in that fifth set, Novak Djokovic. What does he do? His biggest weakness as a tennis player, according to me, that is Novak Djokovic's biggest weakness. He misses an overhead, a forehand overhead. He should have let the ball land on the court, and then maybe he could have done a winner easier. But what does he do? He goes and hits it overhead, run with his back, with his forehand, and hits the net. And he didn't see any more breakpoint opportunities in that fifth set. When Novak Djokovic, Carlos, on the other hand, he had two breakpoint opportunities in that fifth set. He converted in one of them, and even in that breakpoint conversion that Carlos had in the fifth set, Djokovic, it was him who was dictating. It was him who was dictating. Carlos Alcaraz, he was just going and running back and forth, and was defending like crazy. And in the end, Novak Djokovic, he comes forward in a easy, bad approach, according to me, and Carlos Alcaraz, he does a backhand down the line passing shots to Djokovic, and that was the only break Carlos needed in that fifth set. And after that, I knew Carlos will win, because I knew that Djokovic was not returning that good in this final. I don't know when I remember Novak Djokovic last time returned this bad. He had some chances to break back. He had some 30-15 games in that fifth set against Carlos. He was doing some really bad returns, Novak Djokovic. So I don't know when I've seen Djokovic return this week, to be quite honest. I don't know if it has to do with Carlos' serve, because Carlos' serve is good. Carlos' serve is not that spectacular, to be quite honest. Carlos does the biggest damage after he lands the serve. He does the biggest damage on the third, fifth, and the seventh shots. There he does the biggest damage. So Djokovic should have done better return match in this final. He should have done, to be quite honest. And look, guys, in the end of the day, it was the better player who won. Carlos was the better player, besides the first set, where he got steamrolled and he was nervous. But after that, he was the better player. He was the better player. He did much more winners than Djokovic, 34 more winners than Djokovic. He did only 5 less unforced errors than Novak Djokovic, only 5. He was holding his service games easier than Djokovic. He was doing more aces than Djokovic. He was winning more points beyond his first serve than Djokovic. He was returning better than Djokovic. And, to not forget, he was much braver than Novak Djokovic in the fifth set. He was much braver. He just pulled the trigger. He was going for his shots in the fifth set. He was trying to win that fifth set. Djokovic, he was trying not to lose that fifth set. Huge difference. Carlos was trying to win the fifth set. He was playing to win that fifth set, Carlos Alcaraz. Djokovic was playing not to lose that fifth set. In the end, the braver player got rewarded in that fifth set. That is my analysis of the match. I don't know if you guys agree or not agree. You can write down in the section down below. But that is, if I could say some reason why Djokovic lost this final, he was not serving as good as Carlos Alcaraz. Especially was not doing damage as much as Carlos Alcaraz was doing on the third shot, fifth shot. I am pretty convinced that Carlos Alcaraz has won the 0-4 shot rallies. I'm pretty convinced. Without seeing the stats, I'm pretty convinced. So, Carlos was doing much better job on the surplus game than Djokovic. Carlos was returning better than Djokovic. Carlos was playing better from a baseline than Djokovic. He felt more solid from a baseline. Carlos was serving better than Djokovic. And last but not least, Carlos was much braver than Novak Djokovic, especially in that fifth set. Or what do you say? Carlos does 18 winners in the fifth set and only 5 unforced errors, 13 more winners than unforced errors. Djokovic does only 3 winners and 3 unforced errors in that fifth set. Do you not call it braveness from Carlos Alcaraz racket? I bloody call it a braveness. So guys, 35 minutes, this video has been really long. Big congratulations to Carlos Alcaraz for his 2nd Grand Slam title, for sure not his last. The only thing I can see Carlos Alcaraz being stopped in the future, of course he will not win every single Grand Slam tournament, that is not possible, but he will win a lot of Grand Slam titles during his career, and the only thing for that not to happen is if he gets injured. And the reason why Djokovic will not win 28, 29, 30 Grand Slam titles, he will not do it, forget that, like some seem to believe, even a former Grand Slam titleist with 7 Grand Slam titles, Mats Wilander, he seems to believe that Djokovic can win 28, 29, 30 Grand Slam titles. That will not happen, not as long as Carlos Alcaraz is playing tennis. Djokovic will not win 28, 29, 30 Grand Slam titles because Carlos Alcaraz will not allow that. Tsitsipas allows that, Medvedev allows that, Berrettini allows that, Zverev allows that, Casper Ruud allows that, Denis Shapovalov allows that. Not Carlos Alcaraz. Do you know why? Because Carlos Alcaraz is the most complete 20 years old tennis player I have ever seen. Djokovic should have played better than could have played better, absolutely. Especially some crucial mistakes he did cost him the match, like the set point he had in that 2nd set tiebreak in that 6-5 point. He did a backhand unforced error in the net. That is a routine backhand. He should not hit the net. And then on that only break point he had in that 5th set, where that forehand overhead, he landed on the net. He should not have done that with that unforced error as well. So if Djokovic would have been 2 sets to love up, he most likely probably would have won the final. But even that I'm not sure, because Carlos Alcaraz was not going anywhere. So he could have won this match if he was not done some crucial mistakes in the 2nd set with that, like I said, in the tiebreak, that when he had that set point, and in that 5th set when he didn't convert that breakpoint opportunity he had in the 5th set. But who knows? Even if he had converted, maybe Carlos Alcaraz would have broken back. Who knows? So in the end of the day, Carlos Alcaraz was the better player. He was actually the clearly better player than the stats are showing, because the stats are showing in the end of the day that Carlos won only 2 more points in the entire match. For me, he was better than Djokovic. Like I said, he was serving better, he was doing much more damage behind his first serve on the 3rd shot or 5th shot. He was returning better, he was playing better from the baseline, and he was the braver player. And I should not forget to mention Carlos Alcaraz's drop shots. Man, his drop shots. He has some beautiful drop shots. So beautiful drop. Even when he was serving out to win the title in that 10th game of the 5th set, in that 5-4 game, he did some beautiful drop shots. He missed the first one when Djokovic made it to 0-15, but he didn't refuse to give up. And then he did another drop shot with success. And he did a lot of drop shots before that in the entire match. With majority of those drop shots, he won. If I didn't count them, but majority of the drop shots, he won more drop shots than he lost. So Carlos Alcaraz was the better player. Djokovic, he tried to win the match by playing safe in the 5th set, by going in that goalkeeper mode in the 5th set, by just waiting the unforced errors to come from Carlos Alcaraz's racket, which they never did in the 5th set. They never did. So Djokovic will not win 28, 29, 30 Grand Slam titles like Mats Wilander is believing. He will not do it. I don't think Djokovic has won his last. I think he has a couple of 1 or 2 more in his... And I think so, but you never know. And for Djokovic, he really should hope that somebody else takes out Carlos Alcaraz at US Open and Australian Open next year, and French Open next year, and Wimbledon next year, because Carlos Alcaraz, he will not get worse, he will only get better. So Djokovic's hope is that somebody else takes out Carlos Alcaraz for him to have bigger chances of winning Grand Slam titles in the future. Because if he faces Carlos Alcaraz it will not be easy for Djokovic winning Grand Slam titles going forward. It will really not be easy. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace!